What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on. And what is going on? Bitcoin dipped down below 82, but right now we're currently sitting at 83,200. Now, can we experience more hurt? And the answer is yes, we can, just because that's what the markets are telling us right now. But don't worry, Bitcoin always bounces back up, and eventually these are just new opportunities to get in lower your dollar cost average. So hey, if you bought at 89, hence which I did, I could buy again now. And now my new probably dollar cost average, if I bought the same amount, dropped down to 85. So now I don't have to wait so long for a rise back up to start being profitable. But that's if you're looking at the dollar side. But what else is going on today in the space? Well, let's take a look at a technical analysis. Like right now on TradingView, Bitcoin's showing a sell chart on both the summary with the oscillators and the moving average. Oh, wait a minute, never mind. Our oscillators are showing neutral right now. Interesting. Well, the strong sell point on the moving average. But what is our moving average? Hold on. Well, there's our super scary crypto market first. I wanted to get to our moving averages, and I got here like this is nightmare mode. It's all red, but where is our moving average? So yeah, our moving average is still set at $57,086. So it was either one thing or the other until we can see some price movement for Bitcoin. Either Bitcoin will drop down to the price where the 200-day moving average is, or it's going to just stay where it's at. Moving average is going to continue up and meet somewhere above. So can we still experience a hurt? Yes, we can. Can it still move to the upside? Absolutely it can, because again, we got some news out there, which is the people are going to stockpile their reserves again. I think I have news on Binance to move $1 billion into their protection fund into Bitcoin, so moving from stable coins to Bitcoin. And then after that news, kind of like a domino effect, Tron faces the same strategic shift and is going to match Binance's. So those are just two articles we have. So again, Bitcoin still could go up, but again, it could still have some little room to dip. But let's go to the news, though. What I have for you: Trump names Bitcoin-friendly Kevin Warsh as pick for the Federal Reserve chair. The U.S. Senate Agricultural Committee did advance a crypto bill. I believe it was with 0 Democrats going with it. And then a Bybit news article about Neobank plans its testing for crypto exchanges pushback. And then Coinbase rolls out its Cauchy power prediction markets. If you wanted to do those prediction markets outside of the DeFi realm and moving into centralized system, Coinbase gives you the opportunity now. But let's go through these articles and hear what's happening with Bitcoin, crypto, and what's going on in the world. So thank you again for being here. And let's start off with Trump names Bitcoin-friendly Kevin Warsh as the pick for the Federal Reserve chair. So President Donald Trump announced pro-Bitcoin Kevin Warsh as his nominee to serve as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, confirming speculation from prediction markets. Now, President Donald Trump on Friday, so today, announced Kevin Warsh as his nominee to serve as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, confirming speculation that intensified overnight as prediction markets sharply shifted in favor of Warsh's favor. Now, he said, "I am pleased to announce that I am nominating Kevin Warsh to be the chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System." Trump wrote that in a post on TruthSocial, praising Warsh's background in monetary policy, finance, and government service. Now, Trump added that Warsh would go down as one of the greatest Fed chairmen, maybe the best. And I think I even saw that Michael Saylor pointed out something about Warsh too becoming the Fed. He said something, but I forgot. But Warsh is 55, previously served as a member of the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors from 2006 to 2011 under President George W. Bush and Barack Obama, becoming the youngest Fed governor in history at age 35. He also acted as the Fed's representative to the G20 and oversaw internal operations as an administrative governor. Now, currently, Warsh is a Shepherd Family, distinguished visiting fellow in economics at the Hoover Institution, and a lecturer at Stanford Graduate School of Business. He is also a partner of Duquesne Family Office, working alongside billionaire investor Stanley Druckenmiller. Now, by the time of the announcement, Polymarket traders priced Warsh's likelihood of being selected at roughly 95% late Thursday. That was up from 39% earlier in the day. Now, while Cauchy markets showed similar probabilities after Trump confirmed he would announce his decision Friday morning, if confirmed by the Senate, Kevin Warsh would replace the current Fed chair Jerome Powell, whose term is set to expire in May. So we're about 2 months away. We're pretty much in February. So February, March, April, May. So 4 more months of Jerome Powell. Now, the nomination ends weeks of speculation during which Trump's shortlist was widely believed to include National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, current Fed Governor Christopher Waller, and then BlackRock fixed income chief Rick Ryder. Now, Kevin Warsh's Bitcoin and crypto view. So we're getting a very pro crypto, pro Bitcoin Federal Reserve or Fed chair. So this is pretty cool. So Warsh's nomination is drawing particular attention from digital asset markets due to his relatively crypto-friendly public comments. Speaking at the Hoover Institution's inflation, now it is a choice event last July, Warsh rejected the idea that Bitcoin threatens the Federal Reserve's control over monetary policy. Now, Bitcoin doesn't trouble me, Warsh said at the time. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute for the dollar, but it can be a very good policeman for policy. He said that. And then here is Bitcoin Magazine's tweet about what he said on there, showcasing like an old interview or pretty recent with him wearing a Bitcoin orange tie. I'm sure everyone's been seeing this video roll out on all multiple crypto channels, so I'm not going to play because that's like a 2-minute video. But he has also described Bitcoin as a generational alternative to gold, remarking that if Bitcoin never existed, gold would be rallying even more right now, while suggesting younger investors increasingly view Bitcoin as the new gold, which he's not wrong there, because that's how we see it. We're in a digital world. We grew up digitally with phones in our hands. Well, not me anyways. I remember growing up with the internet, seeing how that advanced. That was pretty cool. Same with him. Actually, never mind. He became the guy at 35. But Kevin Warsh has indirect ties to the crypto industry through early investments in the algorithmic stablecoin project Basis and advisory roles with the crypto index manager Bitwise. However, his views remain nuanced. He has previously expressed openness to central bank digital currency frameworks, so CBDCs, which is a position that contrasts with Trump's firm's opposition to a US CBDC. Now, again, Bitcoin Magazine just pointing out, again, the Fed chair pick, Kevin Warsh is on CNBC. And now, despite his openness to Bitcoin, Kevin Warsh is widely regarded as a monetary policy hawk. During his previous tenure at the Fed, he consistently emphasized inflation risks, even during periods of economic stress. Now, Bloomberg chief U.S. economist Anna Wong recently summarized the view bluntly. If Trump wants someone easy on inflation, he got the wrong guy in Kevin Warsh. And I'm pretty sure with that, I believe Kevin Warsh is going to keep printing some money, maybe doing some rate cuts, which we did not get. Did I even have an article talking about that? No, I didn't. But yeah, so there's no rate cuts, which is also why prices kind of going down as well. Just it was bearish news. But yeah, so Trump. So yeah, this is Trump's new nominee. Again, he will probably take office in May once Jerome Powell leaves. And again, it's nice that it's a pro Bitcoiner. So I'm going to look forward to seeing what takes place and how we're going to play this out. But that's news from the White House. And also more news from the White House. The U.S. Senate Agricultural Committee advances the crypto market structure bill. So did they make any changes at all? Because that was the last thing. We got Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong talking about it last week when it was declined, or what was happening last week? It was pushed back, delayed, because there was so much negativity now towards it because it was favoring the banks versus actual crypto. So I wonder if they did make any changes at all to this. Well, we're going to find out if they did or not, or if they're still going to push it forward and if it's still favorable to the banks and not crypto. And we really don't want that. So let's see what's actually going on right now with this. So the lawmakers begin debating amendments to a sweeping digital asset market structure proposal as Congress looks to clarify oversight over the crypto markets. So let's see what's changing. So U.S. lawmakers began a key markup session Thursday morning on a long-awaited crypto market structure bill, marking a pivotal step in Congress' effort to establish clearer rules for digital asset markets. Now, the bill has been months in the making and follows sustained pressure from the crypto industry and some lawmakers to move beyond enforcement-led regulation. Now, a quick catch-up is that lawmakers voted on 3 amendments to the market structure bill, all of which failed along party lines. Democrats and the markup pushed for bipartisan solutions and ethics provisions to address potential conflicts of interest. Senator Cory Booker said, "We do not want to be criminalizing people who are writing code as part of the bill." And then the committee voted to advance the bill by 12 to 11 along party lines. So that was the live coverage that happened. Now, industry reacts to the bill advancing. The Senate is laser focused on getting market structure legislation right. And we thank all the lawmakers and stakeholders from across the crypto community who have put in the time and effort to get us to this point, said Mason Linoff, now community director of the digital asset advocacy organization Stand with Crypto. Now, this bill would provide the CFTC spot market authority for the digital commodities, clear rules for intermediaries, and robust consumer protection, including listing standards, disclosure requirements, and safeguards for customer property, said the Crypto Council for Innovation CEO Ji-Hung Kim. Now, he was referring to the market structure bill. He said, "We're close to the finish line, and now is the moment for leaders on both sides of the aisle to come together and get this done," said Bobby Franklin, president and CEO of the National Venture Capital Association. Now, the market structure bill advances from the Agricultural Committee. So in just about an hour, with only votes on 3 amendments that failed along the party lines, the Senate Agricultural Committee voted 12-1 to advance the digital asset market structure bill, setting it up for a floor vote in the full chamber sometime in the future. Now, lawmakers on both sides noted that the committee would need to combine its bill with the draft under consideration in the Senate Banking Committee before a vote. Now, merging this with the Banking Committee's text and doing so on the bipartisan basis is the only way to get this over the finish line, said Kevin Wizocki, head of the policy Anchorage Digital, in the statement shared with Cointelegraph. Now, Boozman released a statement after this vote. "This is a critical step toward creating clearer rules for digital asset markets. Advancing this bill brings us closer to a U.S. regulatory framework that protects consumers while also allowing Americans innovation and businesses to thrive." So I think he's talking about the innovation part where it's like, let's not penalize these guys who are just creating code out there. Like we only had really one person who was out of that. What was that? Russell Bright. He created a website used by bad actors, and then he got blamed for it. So they're trying to put protection for people just creating stuff in there. I think even Cynthia Loomis put another separate bill outside of this to have some digital protection out there. But yeah, so we got to stop stifling innovation out there. So hopefully that will continue in. But I want to know what else got changed. So Durbin amended on crypto bailout fails. Lawmakers also voted along party lines against an amendment proposed by the Democratic Senator Dick Durbin, who suggested that federal agencies not provide financial assistance to a digital asset commodity intermediary to prevent the failure of bankruptcy of the digital asset commodity intermediary. Now, Durbin pointed out to the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX, leading to the failures of how Silicon Valley Bank and Silvergate Bank happened. Now, nothing in the bill would grant the CFTC authority to provide assistance to the intermediary in the event of bankruptcy, said Boozman, adding that a specific prohibition is unnecessary. So I guess right there, they're saying, yeah, if anything were happening like FTX style with the 2 banks that happened, they got bailed out. This would not happen in this case anymore. So they're on their own. Now, committee votes along party lines against ethics amendment. So in a 12-1 vote against the adopting of the amendment proposed by Democratic Senator Michael Bennet, the committee chose not to incorporate ethics provisions into the crypto market structure bill. According to Bennett, the amendment was intended to prevent elected officials from profiting off the crypto industry. Oh, is that the one they changed it? Did they take that one apart? The amendment was intended to prevent elected officials from profiting. No, I don't think that was it for... I think that was intended for the banks. But okay, so now Democrats focus on ethics provisions and the bipartisan solution. Senators Adam Schiff and Elisa Slotkin, both Democrats, emphasized the need for bipartisanship in their comments to the Agricultural Committee, but reiterated Booker's remarks about the need for ethics provisions. Slotkin also expressed concerns about the national security and the leadership of the CFTC, where only Chair Michael Selig sits in a panel meant for 5 people. Now, handing over responsibility for the oversight of this bill to just one guy who in his own town's confirmation hearing in front of the committee was very open of being very pro-crypto industry. It just doesn't give confidence that, again, now we're going to have an appropriate balanced oversight on very new issues, said Slotkin. Now, what they also said is we do not want to be criminalizing people who are writing code, Booker says. So, okay, so here's that part. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker laid out some of his and Democrats' goals for the market structure bill, including having the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and CFTC coordinate and collaborate on crypto rulemaking and protection for self-custody and innovation of technology. We do not want to be criminalizing people who are writing code, said Booker. The senator shared his frustration over the lack of bipartisan participation, and in the most recent version of the bill compared to the draft he and Boozman released in November, Booker said he had been engaging with stakeholders as of Wednesday, evening to address provisions on decentralized finance, and then took aim at the U.S. President Donald Trump's involvement in the crypto legislation. Now, the White House has made infinitely harder. The fact that Donald Trump is grifting on crypto himself, said Booker, adding that this is ridiculous that the President of the United States and his family have made billions of dollars off this industry and are still trying to make a framework here without the kind of ethics that would prevent this kind of gross corruption in our country. And yeah, that's always a fun news article that I don't really take too much of. Oh, the president made money. Like, this is crypto. It's decentralized. Anybody can make money if you wanted to in it. But so that's just a hit at them. I go, no, we shouldn't have these people do it. But yeah, we all have our own thoughts on that. But Chair Boozman and Ranking Member Klobuchar gives opening remarks. Committee Chair John Boozman and Ranking Member Amy Klobuchar addressed lawmakers before considering amendments on Thursday. So according to the Boozman, the committee had made really significant progress on the market structure bill, but noted that an effort had to be combined with those in the Senate Banking Committee, which postponed its own markup after Coinbase said it could not support its version of this bill as written. Now, Klobuchar added that there has been good progress on the bill, but not enough to gain bipartisan support, including on provisions to prevent lawmakers from engaging with the crypto industry. Her remarks signaled that she would be pushing her amendment to have the CFTC have at least 4 Senate-confirmed commissions before the market structure bill would be effective. Now, we can't give the CFTC this broad new authority when it only has 1 member and 1 Republican member. Now, lawmakers on the Senate Agriculture Committee expect to vote on 11 amendments out there later this year. Let's see. The Digital Asset Market Structure Bill, called the Digital Commodity Intermediaries Act, in the Senate Agriculture Committee will be under consideration as the lawmakers vote amendments related to the leadership at the U.S. Commodities Future Trading Commission, ethics, and foreign interference in U.S. markets. Although in an amendment proposed by Senator Roger Marshall related to the credit card swipes fees, it is still on the committee schedule. Reports suggest that he would not push for such provisions in the bill. So there's still so much more to be talked about. They just really only discuss, again, those 3 things, the protection. But yeah, for credit card swipe fees and all that stuff, there's still a lot more that they got to just come to clarity. So they're working on it. So that's what all I care about. Just I hope it works out in the long run for us. But that was pretty long, but just had to let you guys know what took place yesterday with the market structure bill, because this is kind of like another potential catalyst for Bitcoin's price action movement, because if it passes and if it's done right, then it's bullish for Bitcoin. Now, so that's what's going on there. Now let's continue on with the Bitcoin news bandwagon. I mentioned Binance is about to move $1 billion to a user protection fund into Bitcoin. So they're going to be swapping some stable coin into Bitcoin. Now let's find out which stable coin that is right now. So as the Bitcoin price slumps, Binance said it will convert the $1 billion stablecoin-backed security asset fund for users entirely into Bitcoin over the next 30 days. So, okay, so we might see some price movement back up, but let's see, though. It's fighting a downhill battle right now. So Binance said Friday it will convert the stablecoin holding in its $1 billion secure asset fund for users, the SafeFu, entirely into Bitcoin over the next 30 days. Now, the exchange said the transition will be carried out gradually and accompanied by regular audits. Binance also pledged to replenish the fund if Bitcoin price's volatility causes its value to fall below 800 million, using Trezor reserves to restore it to 1 billion. Now, Binance launched its SafeFu back in 2018 to protect users against losses from extreme events such as hacks or major system failures. The funds is financed through a portion of Binance's trading fees and is held separately from user assets in cold wallets. Now, Binance has repeatedly cited SafeFu as a cornerstone of its risk management and trust framework. This initiative is part of Binance's long-term industry building efforts. The exchange said in its translated statement posted to X, "We will continue advancing related work to gradually share progress with the community." And here is Bitcoin Magazine's tweet on just in. Binance says they will convert the SafeFu funds to 1 billion stablecoin reserve into Bitcoin. That is bullish. Now, Binance's decision comes as Bitcoin slumps. The move comes during a period of heightened market stress. Bitcoin has declined significantly from the recent highs, which was 126,000 in October of 2025. Now, while liquidity dislocations during extreme price moves have revived debate over exchange infrastructure and transparency. Now, Binance framed the decision to redominate SafeFu into Bitcoin as a statement of conviction in the asset's long-term role within the crypto's ecosystem, positioning Bitcoin not merely as a trading instrument, but as the industry's foundational reserve asset. Now, the exchange said future reviews could consider allocations to other core assets, including its native BNB token. but Seifu was most visibly deployed in 2019 when Binance covered losses after a security breach that resulted in theft of roughly 7,000 Bitcoin. Now reimbursing affected users in full without impacting account balances. Since then, the fund has remained largely untouched, serving as an assurance mechanism rather than an actively deployed resource. Now, at the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading below $83,000. It slid 6% over the past 24 hours, and trading as heavy selling pushed daily volumes to 94 billion. The asset is now down 6% from its 7-day high of $87,883, and though it remains about 2% above its weekly low of 81,000, which hit late Thursday night, Bitcoin circulating supply stands at 19.98 million tokens, and BTC out of its cap 21 million, giving it a global market cap of roughly 1.65 trillion right now, which is also down 6% of the day. Now, final tweet from somewhere on this one. Today, we are taking another step forward. Binance will convert the Seifu funds to 1 billion. So the Seifu fund will undergo regular rebalancing based on its market value should BTC price movements happen, and we believe Bitcoin is a foundational asset of the ecosystem and premier long-term store of value. So yeah, so they know something. Like, that's what I'm taking from this article. Like, they're looking at the price, they're feeling it, they feel like a potential correction is going to be coming. So that's why they're positioning themselves now. Again, everybody has their own plan on where they're going to reposition. I watch Ivan on Tech a lot. He got out in October. Like 30% still holds in Bitcoin long term. The other 70%. I'm not sure where he moved it, but he just moved it out of it. But he's waiting for it to get to a certain price level. I think that is the 200-day moving average. So if Bitcoin goes to 60, that's his time to get back in, because that's telling him to do that. But it looks like these guys are getting on it a little bit early. So they know price is probably going to move up again shortly, and they're just positioning themselves just well off. And if it goes beneath $1 billion or hits 800, they're just going to top it back up to $1 billion. And this is how it's going to keep their system safe. So that's Binance news. Let's talk about how Tron is doing the same thing, being a little copycat, but it's a good strategy, so it's okay to copy it. So the Tron faces strategic shift as Justin Sun plans to boost Bitcoin holdings as well. So Tron founder Justin Sun says the ecosystem will increase its Bitcoin holding after Binance's call for sector-wide BTC treasuries, signaling a shift toward a Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Now, Justin Sun, founder of the Tron blockchain network, announced plans for the Tron ecosystem to increase its Bitcoin holdings, according to a statement posted on social media. Sun stated that the decision was made in response to a call from cryptocurrency exchange Binance to the sector, though specific investment amounts and timelines were not disclosed. Now, Justin Sun states that Tron will increase Bitcoin holdings, and the announcement adds Tron to a growing list of blockchain projects and companies incorporating a Bitcoin into its treasury management strategies. Now, the move represents a shift among some blockchain networks toward viewing Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset rather than a competing cryptocurrency. The Tron network processes a significant portion of global stablecoin transfers and hosts various decentralized financial applications. The network stablecoin usage has positioned it as a major player in the cryptocurrency infrastructure, and Bitcoin's fixed supply cap of 21 million coins and increase in adoption by institutional investors have made it an attractive reserve asset for corporate treasuries, according to the market observers. Now, Sun has previously advocated for interoperability between different blockchain networks and has described Bitcoin as a foundational element of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Market analysis noted that while Tron's Bitcoin purchase may have limited immediate price impact, the move could signal growing confidence in Bitcoin among institutional and semi-institutional entities in the cryptocurrency sector. Now, again, this strategy follows similar approaches by other entities in the digital asset space that have adopted Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Binance has promoted this approach with the cryptocurrency industry, and yeah, so that was a short article, but there's no date on it. But yeah, so everyone is understanding that Bitcoin is a reserve asset and shouldn't be treated as a competition to whatever projects they're doing. So these are other blockchain spaces out there, other coins, other tokens, like they're even putting it into it. So yeah, there's no date on when he's doing it. He just announced it because Binance did. At least with Binance, we know in the next 30 days they're going to be making that move over. But two entities at least continuing on with their strategic Bitcoin reserve, or just strategically moving it back over to be safer. But yeah, so those are our Bitcoin bullish news out there. I got 2 more news articles for you before we call it a happy Friday. Next up is going to be Bybit's neobank plans tests and crypto exchanges push into banking. So this is another crypto exchange, I think, dipping its toes into banking. So let's hear what's going on. So Bybit's upcoming neobank launch via Tether-backed Pave Banks highlights the regulatory hurdles and challenges that crypto exchanges face when entering traditional finance. So Bybit's push to offer neobank-style services is testing how far crypto exchanges can expand into traditional finance, highlighting regulatory hurdles and the growing reliance on licensed banking partners. Bybit CEO Ben Zhao announced the exchange's push into retail banking on Thursday with a planned February launch of its retail banking product. My Bank is what it's called. Now, the move would mark one of the most ambitious attempts yet by a major exchange to offer bank-like services to retail users. As crypto increasingly intersects with TradeFi, industry observers and executives warn that Bybit's neobank move could trigger major challenges as it enters largely uncharted territory for a crypto-native company in pursuing banking services. Now, the idea of a crypto exchange expanding into banking is conceptually feasible, but in practice extremely complex from a regulatory perspective. Gal Arad Cohen, a blockchain lawyer and partner at the independent law firm S. Horowitz & Co., told Cointelegraph that Bybit's bank partner pays bank backed by Tether investments. Or that's what he said before. He didn't say that beforehand. But to offer banking services, Bybit must either partner with a licensed bank or obtain a full banking license, which is a year-long, capital-intense process, Cohen said. Now, no major global crypto exchange currently operates as a fully licensed bank in the traditional sense, offering deposits, taking, and core banking services under its own license, the lawyer added. Now, a Bybit spokesperson confirmed to Cointelegraph that the exchange is working with Pave Bank, a licensed lender based in Georgia, to support its retail banking offerings. And here's Cointelegraph's tweet on the Pave Bank raises $39 million, led by Accel and Tether, to expand the programmable banking for institutions blending crypto and fiat finance. Now, founded in Tbilisi, Georgia, in 2023, Pave Bank positioned itself as a programmable bank for businesses. Combining crypto and fiat services the same year, it received a digital banking license from the National Bank of Georgia. And then in 2025, Pave Bank, or is it Pave Bank? It's one of those, raised $39 million in a Series A funding round from the major industry players, including Tether Investments and the venture arm of Tether, which issued the world's largest stablecoin, USDT. Now, the industry cautions on the trade-off of a full-service banking. The scope of Bybit banking ambitions remain a key question for the industry observers. If they want to operate in the US and seek a US banking charter, which would be surprising to me, but is possible, then they'll have a lot of structuring to do, Renek Sachs, co-founder and CEO of the stablecoin liquidity infrastructure, ECO, told Cointelegraph. Now, many exchanges, including Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken, have experimented with the bank-like features such as fiat on and off ramps, cards and payment accounts, but operating as a bank is substantially different undertaking, said Yuri Bisov, a lawyer at the Digital and Analog Partners. Now, here's a chart showcasing the Bitcoin's exposure, or bank's exposure to crypto assets and how they jumped in 2024, and they really have. Now, it is logical that crypto firms will compete with banks more directly in 2026 and 2027. Brzov said, however, the closer a platform gets to offering full-service banking, the more it inherits banking burdens. He added, referring to capital and liquidity requirements, sanctions enforcements, operational resilience, and incident liability. So Bybit's push also reflects the broader crypto and TradeFi convergence. Petri Kozagov, co-founder and CEO of the payment platform Mercurio, said that platforms in crypto are increasingly making inroads into TradeFi, while the traditional financial services explore crypto. Now, Megan Knob, CEO of Franklin, framed the move as part of embedded finance, where users could eventually be abstracted from cumbersome money movement, with borderless, near-instant payments becoming the norm. Now, retail users could face friction from heavier KYC rules, while Bybit's potential bank move could simplify fiat to crypto transactions. It may also present trade-offs for retail users. Nick Densinko, co-founder of the digital financial platform Brighty, said that the exchange banking push could create more problems than benefits. as it will likely introduce heavier know your customer procedures, which is true. If they start following the banking rules, they got to do it. Now, a lot of users choose crypto exchanges, especially Asian ones, because onboarding is simple and KYC is relatively light compared to the banks. Now, Densinko told Cointelegraph, adding that if Bybit goes down this route, it would be the first major exchange to seriously try it, and I'm not sure what's most retail users are asking for us right now. So yeah, the retail's not asking them to do it, but they're trying something new. So Bybit has declined to provide further details to Cointelegraph on the scope of its planned neobank push. So yeah, so that's actually interesting news to see how other exchanges might do the same. Like they're claiming to be the first ones to try to go from crypto exchange to an actual bank, really. And as they get closer to there, they got to start taking on the burden of what banks usually have to deal with. So it's going to be a trade-off. Interesting, but I guess as again, we get more rules too in the United States and around the world. Like sometimes maybe one of these exchanges will have to kind of convert to that side just to abide by the rules out there. But interesting. It's interesting to think about. I love seeing this happen. So I'm going to be curious in watching this. Like Bybit's a big exchange out there. And if you remember from the past, though, they also were involved in the biggest crypto exchange hack out there, too, which was like $1.3 billion. I think that was it. But they were recovered. They were fine off of it. They had the store value, kind of like what Binance is doing with that article we covered, just a reserve in case something happens. They had enough reserve to be able to cover that 1.3 without missing a beat on their platform. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Bybit. Now let's talk about the crypto exchange Coinbase, and how they just rolled out Kalshi power prediction markets across the United States. And when I saw this, I was like, wait, what? Just popped on my phone really fast and went, oh, that is there. It's kind of with their gold and futures prediction markets as well. But leading American crypto exchange Coinbase has launched its own prediction markets offering powered by Kalshi. So public traded American crypto exchange Coinbase continues its expansion beyond crypto trading on Wednesday, officially rolling out its prediction market product to American users in all 50 states. Now, the markets allow individuals to test their knowledge across sports, culture, politics, and crypto, making use of the already established market presence and contracts offered by leading prediction market platform Kalshi. Now, the prediction markets are the ultimate form of truth-seeking. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong posts on X, when there's skin in the game, the output is far more favorable, or is far more reliable. Everything else is just biased by someone's agenda. So I think we'll look back at prediction markets as a breakthrough in how we discover truth in the world. Now, out, odds set by the house. In, prices set by the crowd. Now there's a new way to trade your takes. So prediction markets are live in all 50 states on Coinbase. Trade any real-world outcome across sports, politics, culture, and more. And that's what you get. Now, Coinbase users can fund predictions using Cash or Circle's dollar-backed stablecoin USDC. Now, that is held in their existing exchange accounts. All of Kalshi markets are accessible through Coinbase, said Tom Gemail, head of prediction markets at Coinbase, and he added that the firm will be closely watching the response from users. He said, we measure for success in several ways, he told Decrypt. Trade volume will be a greater indicator of user interest as a whole, but we also want to note, and we want to see how they're using prediction markets. We believe that this is an opportunity for traders to hedge against risk in a way that was previously inaccessible to them. We're eager to provide a greater breadth of contracts and to understand how our users value them. Now, the firm first announced its intentions to join the growing sector of prediction markets in December, after volumes exploded among Kalshi and the Poly market throughout the fall, ultimately eclipsing billions of dollars in weekly trades. Now, Kalshi and Poly market collectively raised more than $2.3 billion in the final months of 2025, rapidly adding to their valuations, which eclipsed $11 billion and $9 billion respectively. So with Coinbase's adoption of this product makes it one of the biggest firms to feature a prediction market, joining publicly traded brokerages and trade everything firm Robinhood, which also makes use of Kalshi's prediction market contracts. So while their popularity has exploded, scrutiny surrounding the prediction markets has also increased as of lately, particularly as it relates to sports contracts, which are likened to the sports gambling sector. So earlier this month, prediction market platforms in the state of Tennessee were ordered to remove their sports-related contracts, and Kalshi then sued the state's attorney general and its sports betting regulator in the federal court, arguing that the state had no grounds to regulate this offering. Then prior to its Wednesday launch, Coinbase has already had a brush with controversy related to the prediction markets. In October, Armstrong purposefully ran through a list of words that predictors had bet he would say during an earnings call, leading to the criticism about the market manipulation there. So at the time, Armstrong called it a fun moment of spontaneity, and a representative for the firm told Decrypt that his closing remarks were made in lighthearted offhand, referencing online discussions around just the earnings call. Now, Coinbase prediction markets platform allows traders to make bets on what the firm will say during the next earnings call, though it has only generated around $13,000 total volume so far. Now, traders will be able to make predictions on Coinbase at nearly all times except for a 2-hour maintenance period earlier on Thursday morning, according to the site's fact sheet. Now, shares of Coin are down around 0.32% amid the news and have fallen nearly 45% in the last 6 months as a change of hands to $210. That's Coinbase's stock right there, lowering down. But are you guys going to use the Kalshi network on Coinbase out there? Or would you just rather just go to Kalshi or Polymarket itself and just connect your will and do it that way? So, but that's cool that they're rolling this out. And what did I get from this article? Like, it makes things more predictable. Like, we got the news of Kevin Warsh that was going to be picked. You could have bet on that during the prediction markets. And I think the number went from like 35% to 95% right after Trump said, I'm going to be announcing the person tomorrow, or after he just labeled the name. So, yeah, so that's what's going on in the crypto space today, guys. It's been a great Friday. Hope you've been having an awesome week. Our crypto fear and greed index is not looking too hot right now. We have dipped to a 28 level in fear right now. So, again, that's just always a good time to buy. Again, when we're fearful, it's a good time to buy. When we're greedy, you may want to make a correction because price could swing down again. But Bitcoin's currently sitting at 82. So we've dipped since the show began. $82,500 right now. Could we experience a little bit more dip? Most likely. So just position yourself well. Just buy whenever. That's always a good strategy. Like, what was that thing I saw on X? Hold on. I think it was from Bitcoin Magazine. So let's see. Bitcoin Magazine. Just a little fun thing on just if you're a Bitcoin accumulator, doesn't matter about the price at all, but you always want to lower your dollar cost average right here. This is what a real Bitcoin strategy looks like. Buy the dip, buy the rise. You're just continuously buying. It don't matter when you're going in because this is a long-term haul. It's for the next generation that you want to just keep safe because, again, our next generation is kind of screwed out there right now. There's no hope. And the only hope that I truly see with this for my generation and younger is, they need to get in Bitcoin. So as long as you keep buying now, parents, grandparents, put self-custody at the right way and leave it for your family, like they'll be well off. So just buy the dip or wait for us to go a little bit lower and try to get it even more. But everybody, hope you have an awesome weekend. I think I got to head to West Palm tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun, safe weekend. So busy weekend. So everybody have an awesome day, and I will see you on Monday with more crypto news. Peace out, guys.